You actually mentioned something about something that you actually taught at school. That you guys would have to do research. You would have to understand color.
Yes.
So some people don't really understand what's a creative director. Some people might be thinking, maybe you're just directing creatives. But they don't know that there is a lot that actually goes in there. You have to understand. Because you are dealing with brands, you are dealing with clients, so you need to understand the clients. So you as a creative director, how do you manage to develop a solid understanding, especially for these brands that are already well established?
So with brand development, it's really about creating a story or a narrative for your client, right? So when you think of a particular product, you want to attach certain feelings for them, right? So if we look at Apple, that's always the easier one to go for. But when you look at Apple, right, the first thing you think about is, that association with it being like opulent, it being easy to use and the in thing or the best version of technology there is. You know what I mean? So they've really managed to cement that, and I only use a few of their products, and because of my career, I want things that perform. So I'm more on the Samsung side of things, and also because I want to get things done. You know what I'm saying? But look, I respect the brand that Apple is. For example, as a creative director now, since I meet clients,
you need that.
You need because that. This thing it seals the deal. It's different from. It's different if you go with an Acer or a Dell laptop, to a client presentation. They'll be like, "But we have these too." You know what I mean? But the brand really, if you're client facing, you want something that shows that So anyway, those are the things that people value in brands. And as a creative director, if I'm given a client where I'm told to enhance their brand appeal, I need to understand obviously who they currently are, who their current customers, how they feel about them, right? And what are their best values, right? And that are known and publicly known, right? And generally known. Then from there, I'll ask the client, how do they want to be seen and understood, right? And then, from that, I'll be able to develop a campaign that does exactly that. And from it, I'm able to now, not only a campaign rather, but also the brand itself, how it is felt, right? And then the advertising is just another thing where obviously how I feel about your brand will influence whether I choose to purchase your product or not, you know what I'm saying?
True.
Or how much I choose. If it's the same product, the brand is stronger, I don't mind spending more money, you know what I mean? So that I can be associated with that brand. Because people really don't buy products per se, right? They buy brands, especially if you got the money and you can choose. You want to be associated with something, right? So personally, I want to be associated with the way I dress sometimes. I want to be associated with Nike because the values that they pretty much embody, especially for black people. Right? Black people made the Nike brand. I would like to believe.
A lot of
Michael
people,
Jordan, Tiger Woods, name them. You know what I'm saying? LeBron James. I really believe that. I don't know. I hope I'm not upsetting people. But I really like the brand. So even just the way I am, and that's the thing. I don't care if a Nike is gonna cost X amount, and I'll spend that money. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to create that same feeling for the clients that come to me. So with all the clients that I've had in Zambia and all these other places that I've worked, I've wanted to replicate the same thing. How can I make people just totally lose their mind when it comes to whether they want to purchase your product or not? They don't care about the product, how it functions. They're buying the feeling that the brand gives you. I think that's really and truly what you want to do with brand development. Make it obviously, create how it looks on the eyes, then create how it feels on the inside.
Hey, man. You guys, you're being given this content for free. Imagine, man.
Free of charge,
Free
Baba.
of charge, Baba. You know, this guy could be charging us right now.
No, actually, cut it.
Yeah, man. Hey.
No. Hey, I need to
deep.
monetize this. I'm writing a book.
I tell you, man. Hey.
No, this is just common. You can read about this stuff.
Yeah.
I've just internalized it because I have to. You know, my role requires me to, and also just the love for the arts really just requires me, and my love for people, and you know, giving them that. You know what? I'll go on forever.
All right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I believe, you know, in the creative space, there are advantages and there are also disadvantages, right? So you, as a creative director, what are some of the challenges that you've actually experienced in the creative space, especially in your creativity? Yeah. What are some
Zambia or
in
just
Zambia or anywhere else where you have worked before?
Okay, I think the biggest thing that, and it's not just creative directors per se, but creatives in general, right? There's always that balance between what is corporate or what the person paying the money, what do they want, and what does their ego say about the decision they want to make about a creative decision, right?
All right.
Then there's you fighting to make sure that, look, dude, I actually am trained or I understand exactly what you need to get to where you want to be. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
And being able to convey that to a client, right, is very, very difficult. I feel, look, I've won that battle quite a lot of times, but every time that I encounter it, it's a new battle. It's always a battle. You know what I mean? It's tough to get a lot of clients to buy into the whole creative, to have their whole system of communication to pretty much trust people with their brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And trust creators with their brand, because they're like, no, I've been to Harvard School of Business, I've been to WITS to study business. What is this graphic designer going to tell me about how I should run my company or how I should communicate to my audience? You know, I know marketing. No. That's different. You know what I mean? You can understand how a business runs, but you don't understand people. You know, graphic designers or designers or creative directors understand people. Yeah. Filmmakers understand people. You know what I mean? And we understand how to get those messages, what you want as a business deliverable, into how people will respond to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's always tough, I won't lie. We spend, in agency, we spend at least 80% of the time trying to convince our clients to trust the process that we want to take them through, instead of actually now really investing more in trying to perfect the process. We spend more time trying to tell them, look, this is what you should do, instead of spending more time in actually getting it done and, you know, fixing it as we go along. But most of the times, you know, the most unfortunate circumstance is that you come up with a really clever idea, client shoots it down and tells you, no, do it this way, use this color, use this font, use this model, right? You do that, right? And then now you're fixing it along the way, which means, you know, when, for example, if you tell your client to stop using stock images, right? Then they go ahead and do that. Next time when they see a billboard, 2 billboards back to back, same image, you know what I mean? Because no one really wants to invest that much into creating their own content, you know what I mean? And yeah, I think that's, I think to answer your question in maybe one sentence, it's really difficult to get clients to invest fully and trust creatives with their brands, you know? That's always tough. And I always challenge, you know, creatives to never give up. You know what I mean? If your client doesn't give you, I always tell the guys here, you know, I've been working at Kingspirit for some time now, and I always tell the guys that, you know, even if your client does not accept your creative decision, I've had to be politically correct there. Even if your client does not accept your creative decision, you can still do creative work. You know what I mean? So Yeah, man. You're never restricted because at the end of the day, there's something that you wanna put out there that is super creative, man. I don't know. That's what we do,
man. It's really a crazy world, you know.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, especially, I think people from, is it the old age? Yeah, they like you say, you know, it's always.
Well, my mom is creative, though. You know we've established that.
Oh, all right, yeah. So it's always that thing whereby they don't really understand, you know, how creatives works.
Oh yeah.
How creatives work, you know, and they don't
very
really,
functional.
Yeah, you know, it's always hard to convince them.
Yes.
Hey, man.
Trust the process.
You know, trust the process. Yeah, man. So, what are some of challenges that you have faced, especially in brand development? Mm-hmm. Like, what are some of the challenges that you have faced, and how did you manage to overcome those challenges?
I mean, that was it, really.
All right.
But yeah, like Martin, it's the mother tongue is just slipped in.
Yeah.
Slipped in. So yeah, look, it's always trying to get a client to pretty much buy into your idea. And I think that's always the tough thing. And you know, going into an industry that is really, really formal, as you said, people are very, very rigid. There's, you know, your marketing budget is, you know, it's allocated, and the person who's supposed to spend that money has got a huge eye on them. Like, you know what, this money we're spending it needs to bring business. You know what I mean? So that's always the tough thing. You know, being able to convince your client that you're the right person to actually, you know, take them to use that money wisely.
Yeah, man.
And that's what really separates a lot of creative professionals and agencies, right?
Yes,
I think something that we've done that I like about Kingspirit, right, is that Kingspirit always hires the best people, right? And so that the clients always get the best value per kwacha, you understand, or best value per rand or per dollar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's when a client spends maybe like a million kwacha or million rand or $1 million, it's almost guaranteed that, you know, when you have the best people in your studio or the best creative team, right, that you're gonna get more value for that amount of money that you put through.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
Great. So I think this is going to be the last one. I just wanted you to give an advice, you know, to some of the people maybe who are actually upcoming creatives. Yeah. What's your word for them?
I would say just, you know, get up in the morning, right, and go and create content, right? You learn everything that you do by repeatedly doing it every single day, right? There's, you know, just be that person who wakes up earliest, be that person who takes up the hard assignments, be that person who creates their own briefs, be that person who creates their own, you know, so they're always busy, you know what I mean? I'd like to say, I've never really calculated, really, but I'm pretty certain I spent over 20,000 hours drawing, you know what I mean? So that day, obviously, you get a lot of practice from all that. It really helps. Also, being clear with your goals, right? You need to know what you're waking up to go do. What are you serving? Are you going to work to make money, or are you going to work to, you know, to make money for a project? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You have to be really deliberate, you know, and have a plan of achieving these things. Identifying good mentors, identifying a proper plan for yourself, you know what I mean? If you want to be the best creative director or the best cinematographer or the best photographer or what, you need to look into what it actually takes and pursue that, like, every day. Identify the mentors, have a strong portfolio, publish, talk about your work, blog about your work, get a lot of like feedback from people, and, you know, try to really get associated with big agencies such as Kingspirit.
Yes.
You know, try to get associated also with big clients. You know what I mean? You want clients that will really, that are more on the global spec. People who, even when now you've done some work, you can actually publish some of you know, the work that you've done for these guys, and it'll be more appreciated globally because it's a global brand. You know what I mean? Those are tips that I can definitely advise a creative. Yeah.
All right.
But otherwise, just, you know, get up and do it. You know what I mean? Just.
All right.
Yeah, hours.
There you have it, folks. Hey, man, make content, do the work. Man will come later, man. Yeah. Let's not put man first. I think that's the most challenge that we have, especially with, you know, our generation now.
Yeah. If you put money in front of your eyes, then you can't see the future.
You can't
know
see
what
the
I mean?
future, man. Yeah. So, guys, please make sure that you tune in for the next episode. You know, Kingspirit Podcast.